Good morning everyone. My name is Johnny Habun from BSME 1A and I tackled about the part of South Korea and also the 10 facts of South Korea. Korea or the Korean Peninsula is a region in East Asia. Since 1945, it has been divided into the two parts which soon became the two sovereign states. North Korea, or officially the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and South Korea, officially the Republic of Korea. Korea consists of the Korean Peninsula, Jeju Islands, and several minor islands near the peninsula. It is bordered by China to the northwest and Russia to the northeast. It is separated from Japan to the east by the Korea Strait and the Sea of Japan or East Sea. South Korea, an ancient Asia nation on the southern half of the Korean Peninsula, shares one of the world's most heavily militarized borders with North Korea. It's equally known for its green, hilly countryside that with cherry trees and centuries-old Buddhist temples, plus its coastal fishing village, subtropical islands and high-tech cities such as Seoul, the capital. So this is the 10 facts of South Korea. Koreans will always be a year older than you if you're both counting in your native way, that is, Koreans are automatically a year old when they're born and the whole nation turns a year older at New Year. Therefore, you could actually be 2 years older than you are according to your international age. Korea is all about education, studies, such as PISA, and the World Top 20 poll constantly ranks South Korea world-best in terms of education system. In addition to this, the percentage of population that has attended university is 68%, the highest among all OECD countries, with students spending up to 16 hours at school. It's no wonder the Korean education industry is massive. The Korean entertainment industry is becoming one of the biggest in the world. K-pop, K-movies, K-drama. The keys are all around us. Korean girl and boy bands have become a huge hit worldwide, and the cinema industry, one of the biggest on a global level, is increasingly present in traditionally Western contests and awards such as the Oscars. Food is the essence of everything in Korea. There's a reason why Korea is often referred to as the Italy of the East. Food is at the very center of the nation's culture, and we cannot stress this enough. It is so good. Aside from the famous kimchi, or for which we could need a whole new post, Korean cuisine is incredibly varied, although spicy flavors do tend to be predominant. From street food to homemade meals, eating equals well-being from Seoul to Busan and inquiries into someone's health usually include questions on what the person has eaten. The plastic surgery business is booming looks are a huge thing in Korea, with studies showing over 25% of the population admits to have had plastic surgery. The beauty approach differs to the Western worlds. The focus is mainly on improving facial features, and Korean men also feel the pressure to undergo surgery in order to resemble the male beauty models imposed by K-pop and Korean dramas. Seoul is ridiculously cold, and with 25 million people living within the city's limits, Seoul is also the third biggest metropolis in the whole world. You'll find futuristic architecture everywhere, mind-blowingly huge shopping malls and endless displays of the city's smart status. So it's incredibly innovative and modern. However, history is also largely present throughout Seoul, and although it is indeed a very large city, it's actually rather initiative and orderly. Koreans are also famous for respecting rules, which makes traffic, for instance, easy to handle. Korea is a tech having the country has the fastest internet and best 4G service in the whole world. So you can forget about being stranded Wi-Fi wise while in Korea. The massive tech wave also includes video games and sports. You'll find there are a huge number of video game parlors, and not only indoors. Sport events are even held on beaches. Alcohol is a big thing. This may surprise you, but Koreans are the top drinkers in Asia by far. In fact, they rank 17th worldwide above countries we usually associate with high alcohol consumption like Ireland or Germany. Soju may be a large contributor to the country's status, since it's commonly drunk with meals and is usually around 19% alcohol content. Luckily, Koreans also know how to deal with the after effects alcohol usually brings. So if you're in a restaurant in Korea after a night out, look out for their comforting hangover soup. Titles over names. Korean culture is very hierarchical and very much based on age. Therefore, calling someone by their name is only allowed in very specific situations. You would mostly refer to them by title. However, this can certainly cause confusion in the workplace or if you're managing someone older than you, and even at home, since it can be a point of strife if family members don't recognize rank. South Korea has more than 4,000 islands, and to spend a day on each one you need 9 years. This doesn't mean you shouldn't go for some islands hopping while visiting Korea. Quite the opposite. As a matter of fact, Korean islands life is wildly different to the cities. Vibes as traditional fishing culture and seaweed farming are still the main sources of income. A far cry from the Tichay lifestyle we previously mentioned.